Hey guys, it's Tyler with the Bears Den, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. I am going to just be answering like the most frequently asked questions about like college in Missouri State. So if you're an incoming freshman or maybe even transferring to Missouri State, this video is for you. Can you still have a fulfilling college experience despite COVID-19 and the restrictions that come along with it? The answer to this question probably varies depending on who you ask. Personally, I never went to college before COVID. I would say from my experience of coming from high school to college, the only difference that was created by COVID, obviously having to wear a face mask and online classes. But I don't think online classes are a bad thing. Sometimes they can be really convenient as far as scheduling and, you know, I could do class from the comfort of my own room. Overall, I think I've had a really good experience despite COVID. What's the most intimidating thing about college? Definitely the course load. It's not as easy as high school was. In high school, personally, I rarely put any time into school that wasn't during the school day. With college, it's very different. I spend most of my time doing homework because you don't get class time to do homework, and that's a big adjustment. After your first couple weeks of class, you're used to it. I mean, it just becomes routine. What is it like living in the dorms? I love it. I met all of my friends because I live on campus. Overall, for what it's like to live in the dorms, it's really fun and it's really convenient. What is it like living with roommates? It's really nice to always have people around, always have somebody to talk to. On the other hand, you don't have your own space anymore. You all have to share a bathroom. You have to be really considerate of one another. It takes a lot of compromise and it takes a lot of understanding, but at the end of the day, like, my roommates are gonna be like my friends for life. Like, I will be friends with them when I'm 40, and there's no doubt about that. How should I study? Well, lucky for you, I made an entire video of study tips, but my biggest recommendation as far as studying is make lists. It's much easier to divide and conquer if you have it all in front of you in one list. What do classes look like? All of my classes are pretty different. As of right now, every in-person class I have has an online alternative. Class sizes have been adjusted to like compensate for COVID-19. So as of right now, I don't have any of like the huge lecture classes that you like typically think of when you think of college. I have some where usually about 15 people show up every day, and it's a lecture class and the teacher lectures and then we leave. I have classes where it's completely on Zoom. Most of the time we're not required to turn on our cameras. I have some that are completely online where I've never met my teacher. We've never spoken to one another. I've never spoken to any of my classmates. And all of the work is completely online along with like a textbook or something like that. Like, as far as how classes look, it's really diverse. Like, there's a lot of different kinds of classes. How do you get involved? Getting involved on campus is actually so easy. There are so many student-led organizations. On your My Missouri State website, there is a link to Campus Link, and that is a long list of all of the campus organizations we have here, and I think there's like over 250. Another way to get involved that doesn't really require any sort of commitment is just go to events. I swear there's an event every day on campus. Every day some organization is doing something, and you can usually keep up to date with what events are going on through like social media. Will I get lost on campus? No. Here's my pro tip for not getting lost on campus. Before your classes start, figure out each building that you're supposed to go to, and then go to Google Maps. Google Maps that building, and it will show you how to get to every building you need to get to. But I never got lost on campus. I mean, I'm sure it's possible to get lost on campus, but I imagine it would be very difficult to do so. Can I find a parking space, and do I need to buy a parking pass? Yes and yes. You can find a parking space. They exist. You may not be able to find the most convenient one. However, we do have two parking garages. One's called Bear Park North, the other is Bear Park South. Bear Park North is farther away from like the main area of campus than Bear Park South is. And yes, you do have to buy a parking pass. What do I do outside of class? Outside of class, I do homework. I do other things too, but mostly homework. I like to go to the library. I like to go to the PSU. Every now and then my roommates and I will go do something fun, but most of the time outside of class, I'm doing homework or studying. That's just the truth of it. How do I make money as a student? Good question, because you're gonna need it. There's plenty of like part-time job opportunities. With that being said, I don't recommend working over like 20 hours a week because you will get burnt out very quickly and you will be running out of time to do like your schoolwork. I think school should always come first. I know that that's not like quite the reality of it though. I mean, obviously everybody has to have money. But yeah, like working part-time and being a full-time student is totally doable. At one point in time I was working 2 jobs and I was a full-time student. That was like the bare end of my limit. I could not do any more than that. Is there anything to do in Springfield? Yes. If you want to get a glimpse of what kinds of things there are to do around Springfield, I highly recommend watching the rest of the Bears Den videos because there's lots of day in the life type vlogs and that sort of thing. A lot of people go and see the world's largest fork. Springfield does have the world's largest fork. That's all for today's video. If you guys have any questions that I didn't address, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.